Hi, we are here with Charles Bliss of charlesbliss.com. Thank you for being here.
Cbliss.com.
Cbliss.com.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. No.
Okay.
No. Good, that was good. So when did you start using Inventor?
R1, beta, alpha time frame was one of the very first people that got to use it. And I think that was around 1999.
Wow. So what do you like best about Inventor?
It's fun to use. I think the code I had way back then was it puts the fun in functionality. But it just, you know, I did CAD for 18 plus years or longer than that. And when Inventor came out, I just found it just flat fun to use. So I tried to do fun things with it.
So what is one of your pet peeves about Inventor?
The blue icons.
The blue icons.
Yeah, they came up with this monotonal gray-blue icon theme, and it just, I don't like it.
So what do you think they should do instead?
I think they should revert to the previous scheme.
Take note. So what's the story about cbliss.com?
Well, I've been working at Applied Materials for about 18 years, and when Inventor first came out, there was virtually no content anywhere for solid modeling. This was the early days of solid modeling. There were some out there, but it wasn't well adopted. And I thought it would be of value to the company to have models of the commonly used elements. And I went to management, and they said, wow, what a great idea. Yeah, we save millions of dollars, but we don't have the money to put into that. And so I thought, well, there's a lot of money on the table here, and came up with the idea of sharing content. I put some parts in, somebody else puts some parts in, and over time we have a lot of parts. So a lot of people get a share in content. And so that's what caused it to. So
around what years was that going on?
I think that was around 2001, 2002
Okay.
is when we started, and there was a lot of interest. There's thousands and thousands of components up there. It's tapered off, but people still do send it from time to time.
All right. We've heard you went to Italy to present to a huge user group meeting there. So what was that like?
It's one of the high points of my life.
Oh, great.
I was well received. Everybody there was really friendly. Got to see some very neat things that are being made in Italy. You know, I was really stunned at how much the people in Italy are creating farm equipment and transportation equipment, a very broad range, and things for rebuilding some of the things from antiquity, the cathedrals and things like that. So it was just fascinating.
That's great. We understand you use Inventor a lot for hobbies and nonprofit work. So can you tell us a little bit more about this?
Yeah. So I think it was about Inventor R2. I was wondering what trying to exercise the capabilities of Inventor, and thought, I wonder if I can spoke a wheel. I mean, it was just kind of an odd thought, and I went out to the garage, and I have a 1918 Indian that's all apart, so I grabbed the wheel and I modeled the spokes, and I said, hey, that worked really well. And I thought, well, I wonder, maybe I want to do a front end. And the next thing I knew it, I had the entire motorcycle modeled. And one of the people that I worked with had some affiliation with the Hiller Aviation Museum, and they contacted me and said, hey, we've got this helicopter that we need to send back to the Smithsonian, and we'd really like to have one in our museum. Do you think you can model it and help us work towards building a replica? And so I thought about it, and I thought, well, that's only a few thousand hours worth of work. Sure. And here we are 4 or 5 years later, and it's pretty much modeled. We learned an awful lot of secrets about it along the way, and it was very interesting because the helicopter, as it is in the Smithsonian, will not fly.
So you found out a lot of secrets about
the helicopter.
Can you share any?
Oh, sure. There's not enough components on it for it to fly. So there's 3 sets of controls that need to actuate the blades. There's only 2 sets on the actual helicopter that's at the Smithsonian.
Really?
When they donated it in 1957, they were donating it to the Smithsonian. Stan Hiller said, take that piece of junk over in the corner and make it look like the original helicopter and ship it. And that's why it looks the way it is.
Wow, we've got some inside information.
There's a lot more to that story than meets the eye.
So what is the coolest things you've ever designed in Inventor?
Well, it's not so much design. So as I mentioned, I was working at Applied Materials for 18-ish years. And one of the big challenges we had there was large assemblies. That was the holy grail. How big of an assembly can I get together? And about, when Autodesk started working on Inventor, I think R9 or 2009, whatever. The 64-bit version, I started trying to put together a large assembly, and I cleared 1,013,000 components with 38,000 files open at once. And that was pretty cool.
Wow.
But it wasn't the coolest. I had also built up an assembly of 250,000 components and made a 2D drawing with hidden line removal of that 250,000 part assembly, which was just amazing to be able to do that.
How long did that take?
Well, it was done over a period of time, so it's hard to say exactly how long it took. I started out with what I thought was a big assembly at 10 or 20,000 parts and went, hey, look, a big assembly, and then I threw another one in, and then I imported some SolidWorks assemblies and put them in, and some Pro-E assemblies and some CATIA assemblies.
So was a part of your mind going, oh my gosh.
I haven't broken it yet. The goal was to break it, and I still haven't. So I hit 1 million and still haven't broken it.
That's crazy. So what do you see happening in the future for CAD?
I see more human interaction in the CAD models themselves. So some of the gaming technology, I'll be able to put myself in next to those models and play with them, sort of on the gaming side. And there's another thing which is a little odd, and it's not so much in the CAD as it is in the design community, is with this downturn in the industry, there's a lot of companies that are laying a lot of really bright people off who had been, for years sitting there on their own little designs and thinking, maybe someday. Well, what I'm seeing now, I'm actually seeing it, is those people are starting to try to bring their ideas to market. And I think we're going to see in the next couple of years some really interesting new technologies come to market as an outgrowth of the downturn.
Well, is it a curse or is it a blessing? That's where
I think that's a blessing.
That's what I'm saying as far as with the
I mean, I've had a couple of companies that have said, hey, I need a little help on the CAD side, and I look at what they're doing and I'm going, why weren't you doing this before? Oh, because I was working for a big company.
Yep. Well, great. Well, thank you for taking the time to be
My
here
pleasure.
and share this information, and we thank you for joining us too.
Thank you.